Came underneath the Scion XD 2008, and I thought I would hook the muffler on quickly last night. I thought it'd go really fine. Turns out it turned into be a little bit more difficult than I imagined. So you have this little donut here, which is, I guess, lead with fiber, and it goes around right here inside there, and then fits up into the muffler part right here, and then you tighten it down. You have some bolts with springs. So I ran into some issues. So one is, this is about a 1 3/4 inch outside diameter pipe. This little donut is 2 inch inside diameter. So when you put it on there, there's a lot of extra play. It's sloppy. And then when you try to fit it up into here, well, guess what? It doesn't fit. It's like on the outside. It's not really going up in there with a snug fit. So I did it anyways, thinking, well, it should work, hopefully, I bought the one that is made for this vehicle. At least it said it was. But the car didn't sound quiet at all. I mean, my wife thought it sounded the same as what it did with no muffler. So I thought, okay, so either this little guy is not sealing it, or I have a hole someplace else. So I crawled underneath, I crawled up there. I could not find any other hole in the system. I ran my hands around the pipe up as far as I could get, and I just can't find any holes. So that leads me to believe that this is just not sealing it. And how can it really, when it's a 1/4 inch too big? It doesn't fit up in here. It's supposed to fit up in there snug, and then when you pull it down, it should make a good seal. So that's issue number one. Issue number two, well, I don't know if I'm counting correctly, but so the bolts that came with it look like this. That seems like a good design. However, notice the little 1/4 inch right here with no threads. Okay, so there's a 1/4 inch you're losing. Now here is the bolt that was in it originally, or at least somebody put in, and it's the same length. So now we're working with a 1/4 inch shorter. Secondly, and I don't know if all the mufflers have this, but the Walker muffler, there's a nut right under the other side of this welded in. So it's made so that you put the bolt in like this and you just screw it in. This is the old one. Now this one, you would have to go through that nut, which you can because it's smaller diameter up there, and then put the nut on. So now we're going to lose another almost a 1/2 inch. So that's 3/4 of an inch we're going to lose, which means the springs, which are made to give us some flex, are almost fully compressed. So there goes your flex. So all in all, either I purchased the wrong stuff, or they're making it so it fits so many different models that it doesn't fit correctly. And it turns out I'm not the only one saying some of this stuff. There is some posts online with no real solutions, in my opinion. It's some people shaved off some people kept jamming it until it worked, I guess. Others never really said what they did. So, okay, so one option is I really try to find a donut that fits that pipe in there. Okay, that's option number one. That fits in there good, makes a good fit. Which means I'm going to have to order it, most likely. My second option, another option is to go back to the original bolts, which in hindsight, I probably should have just reused the old stuff anyways. I was told that this was ruined when they took it off, so that was not an option. And I did damage it a little bit from last night, but I think it's okay. And then there's one other concern, and that is, even with everything in place, that muffler looks like it's going to hit right here. It's going to tap that. So that I don't like. I don't like it. I don't want the muffler hitting the frame any place. Now, possibly this got bent during an accident, but I don't think so, because if you look at the spring, it looks fine. If we compare it to the other side, it looks like it has the same angle. It looks like everything is the same. So I don't think that happened. And it seems to ride straight and everything. So it doesn't look like anything got bent in this area. So what can I do? I can somehow pull this to the side a little bit, so we get a little gap there. Or hold this up a little bit. So now we're talking about, you know, a hanger or something on here. Or I don't know what. So regardless, that's another concern. But we need to get this one figured out first. And we need to use the correct bolts so our spring has some flex to it. So I don't think this can be compressed. I don't think I can make this go from 2 inches inside diameter to 1 3/4 inches. I don't think I can do that. I looked online. I was hoping maybe somebody else did by heating it up or something like that, but my thinking is that's not going to be doable with what I have access to. So I don't want to trim it off. My only other thought is to cut it at a steep angle, cut a little bit out, and then bring it together and make it smaller that way. And unless I get a better idea in the next 2 minutes, that is what I'm going to do. Will I ruin it? I don't know, but that's what I'm going to try. Okay, so look for a follow-up video, and we'll let you know how this goes or doesn't go.